Hey there. Welcome to Discover the Divine You. My name is Kimberly Nicole. Right now I'm on a journey to figure out who the real Kimberly Nicole is, who I was divinely created to be. So I created this podcast in hopes others could benefit from what I'm learning and the different ways I'm connecting with a higher power. I created this space for honest conversations about healing, creativity, spiritual growth, and learning to reconnect with myself while living presently in my life. I'm a mom of 3. I have a job. I'm in 12-step recovery. Real life happens every day. So this is a space of no pressure, no expectations, no perfection, just progress. A journey towards finding peace, clarity, and connection to something bigger than ourselves, going from chaos to calm. So here we go. I'm so glad you're here to take this journey with me. Let's get creative. Episode 23, He's Doing Work. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Discover the Divine You. I am Kimberly Nicole, and I am here to tell you that you matter. And our topic for today, it's interesting because I wrote all of these topics out a little bit before I started this, and I don't really look ahead. I focus on the next right thing, and every time I look at the next one when it's time to record it, I had already kind of touched on it in the previous one. So God is working, you guys. He's doing work, and I'm just willing to be of service. And guess what? That's our topic for today, service. And I have a love-hate relationship with service because I'm a people pleaser, or was a really gnarly people pleaser. I also was very codependent, and I also was afraid of conflict. So I said yes to all the things. And it got to the point where I was saying yes to so many things that I was totally burned out. And I would take it out on my family. So here I was doing these so-called good things. Oh my gosh, my hair is crazy today. I was doing all these quote unquote good things, being of service, and then at the expense of my family, and my health. I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't taking care of my stuff at home. I was letting things go by the wayside, and then I would beat myself up for not being the perfect mom and the perfect wife and the perfect employee and daughter and sister and whatever else. I wasn't everything for everyone, and that really made me mad that I couldn't be like a superhero who could stop time and clone myself and do a million things at one time. So being of service became a resentful thing for me. I would say yes to things because I thought it's what I needed to do for people to love me, because I didn't love myself enough. And then I would do all the things that I thought I had to do to get people to love me. And then I would hate myself for that. And then I would get mad and just eventually explode. I think I've mentioned this before. I went from doormat to what's the other one I used? I went from doormat to, not dumpster. Dumpster keeps coming into my mind like a dumpster fire. No, bulldozer. There it is. I was either a doormat or a bulldozer. And I don't like either one. I want to be a very nice, calm in between there, where I can say no, or I can say yes, like when I want to, when I know it's right. Not all the time do I want to, but there's very often, I know what's right. I know if I should say no, and I know if I should say yes. But I don't like should, so let's say that differently. I know when I need to say yes, and I know when I need to step back and say no. And it's clear now, but it wasn't always. And so For instance, I'll give you a good example. When I found program, I decided that I was going to be the best there ever was at program. So I friggin' locked in, got fully focused, reading my big book every day, meditating, praying, going to meetings, sponsoring, you name it. They told me to do it. I did all of it. I had service opportunities or commitments in every single meeting of every single program. And I was sponsoring in multiple ways. And I was being of service at church. I was being of service at home. I was being of service at school and work and to my mom, because she was sick at the time. There was so many things I was saying yes to. And then when my kids would come in and say, Mommy, can you feed me? I'd be like, get out of here. What are you doing? You're interrupting my service. What? That's insanity. They're number 3 on my list of top priorities. Number 1 is my relationship with my higher power. Number 2, my relationship with myself. Number 3, my family. And if the first 2 are in good alignment, then the third one just falls right into place. But I was working on full-on people pleaser service mode. So there I was overdoing, and then my sweet little children were getting the shaft, and that was not okay. So I want to talk about doing service in an appropriate manner. Also, I was going to the extreme to the point where my service was interfering with other people's learning experiences and opportunities to be of service. So I would take all the service positions at meetings. There's a lot of newcomers that needed to take service positions because that's good for their recovery. And I had several service positions in several different meetings, so I didn't need one in every one. I didn't need to sponsor 6 people at a time. That's insane. That's too much. I was not sleeping, barely eating, and I got lost in the service, and it was just another form of control. And so then I needed a new program to figure out how to balance that. And so there's a lot of things that we do that we think are good in the moment, but looking back, were probably not so good for us. I know that there was this one time, one of my cousins came to me and was like, why are you doing all this service for other people when your family is financially struggling? You need to get a job. You need to work to pay your bills and feed your family. And I was like, how dare you? And I'm pretty sure I exploded on him or just hung up on him. And I was like, F you. But later on, when I was working my steps, I realized oh, shoot. Ooh, that was a close one. Shoot, he was right. And I hate that. I hate when other people are right, when they tell you what to do or give you a suggestion. Granted, it was unsolicited advice, but it was good advice. And it was advice I needed to hear, but did not want to hear. And that is often the best advice for me. The more reactive I am about certain things, the more work there is to be done in that arena or that topic or whatever you want to call it. So I eventually made amends with him about that and am currently in the process of, finding that work-life balance, that work-life recovery, self-care, being present balance. There's a lot of things that the world will tell you need to do, and there's a lot of things that I think I need to do that I really don't. So I need to be of service first to my higher power, then to me, then to my children and my family and my husband, and then everything else comes after. And the order of it is up to higher power, right? And the more I dedicate time to strengthening my relationship with my higher power, the easier it is to say yes to service and no to service, because it is something that allows me to heal when I'm getting outside of myself and being of service to other people. It's really important for my healing process. But I cannot serve at the expense of my own health and my family's well-being. That's just not a thing I'm willing to do anymore. And I love being of service. I love being wanted and feeling needed and feeling valued. And that's important. But I also value my health and my peace and my time with my family more than I did back then. Because my worth comes from my higher power and not from the amount of things I say or do, being perfect or right or many. So service is something I have to pause before I accept a service opportunity. I pause and I take it to my higher power. I'm like, okay, God, am I doing this because I want to look good and be liked? Or am I doing this because it is your will for me and I will learn something valuable that you know I'm ready to learn? And that really helps, just kind of taking a pause and saying, hey, that sounds like a great opportunity. Let me get back to you. And most of the time, if it's not a service opportunity that God knows I need, it will work itself out. Like, I got asked to do something for someone just on Sunday. And I said, you know what? I'm not sure if I'm able to. Let me get back to you and I'll let you know. And before I even came back and said, hey, I don't think that that's going to work out, after I talked with my higher power and my family, they said, hey, don't worry about it. I already found someone to fill in. Obviously, that wasn't a service opportunity that God wanted me or needed me to participate in at the time. But I did do it a couple weeks prior, and it was great. And I loved it. And I know that it was what higher power wanted for me because I learned so much from that experience. And it gave me an opportunity to do something I had never done before. Service is very often inconvenient. Like being reminded that I was supposed to be of service in a meeting on Monday. What? I forgot. I could have easily been like, ooh, I forgot. I have this, and this to do. Sorry, I have to back out. It wasn't convenient, but I had a feeling that higher power wanted me there. So I sat on it for a second. I paused, I prayed, and I said, I will be there. And I did what I needed to do before and after the meeting. And so everything worked out. And that's when service is the most important, is when I am doing it for my higher power, because of my higher power. And when I'm of service according to my higher power's will, that's when there's healing, there's growth, and there's peace. If I'm trying to force that service so that I can look better or make someone like me, it's frustrating. It's overwhelming. It brings me no joy. And it almost always causes a resentment and or a fear. Those are the ones that I want to stay away from. Those are the ones where I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? What made me say yes? And I'm grateful for those times, because they really show me where my boundary lies and where I still need to speak up for myself and be aware of what's happening in my body and in my home and in my own recovery and my relationship with my higher power, because I'm still human. I'm a recovering higher power. I still try to take the power back all the time. And my hope and prayer is that eventually I'll get to the point where I don't try to take that power back and I just exist. I coexist and co-create with my higher power 24/7. And it just feels natural and easy and no stress or like internal argument or battle. And, one day I'll get there. I have faith, but I'm not there now. I'm still learning and growing and making huge mistakes and little mistakes and doing great things and not so great things. And that's the whole purpose of being here, right? So there's also a saying that I love. It's trust God, clean house, be of service, or clean house, trust God, be of service. I can't remember the exact way it goes. But either way, it's great. So when I clean house, either figuratively or literally, there is opportunities that open up for me to be of service and to trust that higher power has a path for me and has specific lessons that they need me to learn. So look for those opportunities. You know, if you feel like you're in that burnout mode or that stressful overwhelm or the saying no to everything and just retreating into yourself, when someone invites you somewhere or asks you for help or you see or sense a need, pause and pray about it and ask yourself, ask your higher power, why am I doing this? Is it to look good and be liked, or is it because this is where God would have me be of service? And I promise that's going to open up a whole new lens in which you look through certain situations and specific individuals in your life that have been a source of contention and toxic vibes, and it will really open up love and compassion and understanding. And it's uncomfortable at first to say no. It's also uncomfortable sometimes to say yes. But I urge you to just take that pause after you get an invitation to do anything, honestly, and bring it to your higher power. Check in with yourself. See how you feel. And then respond instead of react. And with that, I will just send you off on your way with good vibes and invite you to just do something loving and creative. And maybe after you're done doing that creative thing, you drop it off at someone's house or write them a cute note or just do a random act of kindness today. Be of service in a tiny way that you don't tell anyone about. Make it just between you and God. Those are my favorite kinds of service. So with that, I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, thanks so much for being here today. You're my favorite. I'm so glad you came. I know life is busy, so I really do appreciate the time you're taking to do some self-care and hang out with me for a little bit. If something that we talked about today resonated with you and you want to dig a little deeper, I put together a 5-minute creative reset guide called Chaos to Calm that you can access in the show's description. And I would be so grateful if you'd subscribe and share this podcast with someone out there that you think could benefit from what we're creating here together. Also, remember, I am just sharing my experience, strength, and hope as I understand it here. So if bigger emotions come up, please take care of yourself and reach out to a licensed professional or someone that you trust for support. You are not alone in this. So until we create together again, please be kind to yourself and do something creative because you deserve it.